All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to build the one tool that really separates successful traders from everyone else, a personal trading strategy. And I mean it. By the end of this, you're going to have a complete blueprint, from that first spark of an idea all the way to hitting the trade button with total confidence. Let's get to it.
But first things first, before we build anything, we have to ask ourselves a really fundamental question. When you click that buy or sell button, are you actually trading or are you just gambling? Now, I know it's a blunt question, but your honest answer to that is the foundation for everything we're about to cover.
And believe me, the difference is night and day. Gambling is just chaos, right? It's random behavior, it's emotional decisions, and the results are all over the place. A strategy, on the other hand, is all about control. It's a structured method with rules you decide on ahead of time, which means you can actually measure your performance and manage your risk. That is the essential shift you've got to make.
So, this brings us to our first big idea. A well-defined plan isn't just some nice thing to have. It is, without a doubt, the single greatest asset you can possess as a trader. It's what separates a professional approach from just, rolling the dice and hoping for the best.
So, what's the real power of a plan? Well, for one, it's your discipline. It keeps you on track when your emotions are trying to take over. Two, it's like a magnifying glass, letting you systematically measure what's working and what isn't. Three, it's your shield. It defines your risk before you even get into a trade. And finally, it creates repeatability, a system you can actually learn from and improve for the long haul.
Okay, so you need a strategy. The next question is, what kind? At the end of the day, every trading approach really boils down to one of two core philosophies. Are you going to trust your gut, or are you going to trust a set of rules?
So on one side, you've got what we'll call the intuitive trader. This is a discretionary style where your decisions are based on judgment, your experience, and just a feel for the market. It's super flexible. And on the other side, you have the engineer, the systematic trader. Their moves follow strict, pre-programmed rules. There is zero emotional input. It's all about consistency, and it's really easy to test with data.
So the crucial thing here is to understand the trade-offs. Discretionary trading gives you incredible flexibility to react to breaking news, but, and it's a big but, it's super vulnerable to emotions like fear and greed. Systematic trading, it completely removes those emotions and is a breeze to backtest. The downside is that it can be too rigid when the market does something totally out of the blue. Look, neither one is right or wrong. In fact, a lot of pros blend both. It's all about figuring out what fits your personality.
All right, enough with the theory. It's time to get our hands dirty and actually build our blueprint. I want you to think of this next part as drawing your own personal map for the markets, a reliable guide to get you where you want to go safely.
And every good map is built in 4 clear steps. Number 1, define your goals and constraints. You got to know your destination. 2, select your market. This is the terrain you'll be crossing. 3, form a hypothesis. What's your theory for the best route? And number 4, set your rules. These are the specific turn-by-turn directions for your journey.
Step 1 is really all about being honest with yourself. What's your goal here? The return you're aiming for? What's your risk tolerance? How much heat can you really take? And what are your constraints? How much capital do you have to work with, and how much time can you actually dedicate to this? Your answers here are going to shape everything else.
Next up is the hypothesis. Now this sounds kind of academic, but it's really just your core idea. It's a simple, testable, if-then statement about why you think a trade should work, based on patterns you see in the market. Something like, if a stock breaks above resistance on high volume, then it's likely to keep rising. See, it's logical, and you can actually go back in time and test if it holds up.
And that hypothesis flows right into step 4, setting your rules. These have to be absolutely crystal clear, no wiggle room. Vague ideas like buy low, sell high are pretty much useless. You need something exact. For example, buy when the RSI is below 30 and then crosses back above 35. Sell when the RSI hits 60 or if the price drops 3% from where I bought it. These rules are your best defense against making emotional mistakes.
So your map is drawn. But think about it. You would never fly a brand new plane without running it through a simulator first, right? Well, that's exactly what this next phase is all about. We're going to test your strategy before you risk a single real dollar.
And the main tool we use for this is called backtesting. You're basically a time traveler. You apply your exact rules to old market data to see how the strategy would have done. And this isn't just about finding out if it made money. It's about understanding its personality, its wins, its losses, and how it behaves in different market conditions, all without any real risk.
But, and please listen to this because I cannot stress it enough, you have to remember this warning.
Backtesting shows you what worked in the past. It does not guarantee it's going to work in the future. Markets change. So use backtesting as a powerful guide, but never, ever think of it as a crystal ball.
Now, once your backtest is looking good, you move on to paper trading. This is where you use a simulator to trade your strategy in the live market, but with fake money. The focus here shifts from testing the rules to testing you. Can you actually follow the plan? Can you stick to your rules when the market is moving and the pressure starts to feel real? All right, the simulations are over and you're feeling confident. Now it's time for the final stage, the live expedition. This is where your strategy finally meets the real world and where you learn to execute, and just as important, to adapt. And you know, today's trader has an incredible toolkit at their disposal. We've got algorithmic systems that can execute your rules perfectly 24/7. Mobile platforms mean you're not chained to your desk anymore, and powerful cloud-based backtesting lets you test a decade of data in just minutes. These tools don't just help you trade, they can fundamentally change how you trade.
And this brings us to such a vital point. Your strategy is not carved in stone. It's a living, breathing thing. You have to constantly monitor it, maybe keep a journal of your trades, analyze what's working, and be ready to tweak things that aren't. As the markets evolve, your strategy has to evolve right along with them to survive.
And this brings our whole journey full circle, doesn't it? We've gone from the chaos of gambling to the structure of a real plan. You've chosen a philosophy, you've built a blueprint, and you've run the simulations. So the only question left is the one you see right here. Your map is drawn. Are you ready for the journey?